my Papaw, Herman Fruge, everybody. I am his first granddaughter. Not the first grandchild, though. So, but daughters are different. Girls are different. How has it been being my Papaw?
Great.
Were you set up for this?
No, I was not.
All right, Herman. Well, I chose to interview my Papaw today, guys, because he is a Vietnam War veteran. He served in the Navy for 24 years. Then he worked on the base for 25 years.
I worked in civil service for 13 years.
Well, let's just jump right in. What made you want to die for this country? What made you want to join the military?
First off, whenever I first joined, I just intended on doing 4 years, and I came to like it. So I decided to make a career out of the Navy.
Did you have any preconceived notions of what you thought being in the Navy or serving in the military would be like? Like, I feel like nowadays we have movies and things to kind of picture what it would be like. But did you go in with any expectations?
No. At the time, whenever I went to school in the 1950s, I had no idea what the service was. I joined just on a whim. That I had graduated from high school, and I couldn't afford to go to college, and I worked offshore in construction, and then I decided that wasn't for me, and I just decided on a whim to go join the service. First, I went to the Air Force, and they said it would be 3 to 6 months. And right next door was the Navy recruiting office. And I went, and they said, "When do you want to leave?" So I went to Navy.
So where was your first deployment? Where did you leave? Okay, so let's backtrack a little. You were born in Basile, Louisiana.
Yes.
Small town boy.
A very small town, about 1,800 people. And I went to school. I graduated, and I still was in a small town. And I worked offshore, construction, and I didn't care for that. And I joined the Navy. I did my basic training in San Diego, California.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I came back on leave, and I was assigned to a squadron in on the island of Guam in the Mariana Islands. And once I reported, I was assigned to an aircraft crew, and we would go on detachments for about 3 months to different places like Okinawa and Atsugi, Japan, Subic Bay, Philippines. So I did a lot of traveling, and on this squadron, what we did is we did a surveillance of the other countries. We would take off one morning, and we'd fly for 24 hours.
That's crazy.
And all we did was
So you're spies.
spice, really.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that I would be interested to know what other people are
Yeah.
doing. So, I mean, the Vietnam War is basic. My understanding, I'm 28. I don't really know other than it wasn't a real war because Congress didn't declare it one. Obviously, it was a real war, but there seems to. Did we win? Did we lose?
that that's still being decided.
And what?
Uh, we were ran out, basically ran out of Vietnam,
Yeah, yeah.
and the during the Vietnam era, I was stationed aboard an aircraft carrier, and during the conflict, uh, we would fly. When the ship would go off the coast of Vietnam, and our aircraft jets would fly off of the carrier on bombing missions identified by the ground forces in the country, and they would go and would attack different with different targets identified by the ground forces, and they would bomb those and come back and refuel and get more artilleries and fly out again. They would do that 8 hours a day.
So you were, even though you would go on the aircrafts, you weren't a pilot, correct?
No,
Okay. Okay, so you would load the artillery onto the aircrafts
uh,
and load the bombs on, basically.
personally, I didn't touch the bombs.
Oh, okay, okay,
And there was a special crew that armed the aircraft jets,
okay.
and they'd fly off and then be gone for 30 to 45 minutes and come back and reload again, and and we would do that for 8 hours a day, from daylight to with the dark, and
Sounds like the American dream. Load a couple bombs, go to lunch, drop a couple bombs, come back, take a break. That's very interesting. What was your exact job? Like, what did you do?
a thousand supply,
Okay, okay.
and we while aboard the aircraft carrier, we would do replenishments, and when they had uh, aircraft that would come loaded down with different supplies, parts for aircraft, food, so forth. And we would have so many minutes to unload it and get it out of the way for the jets coming in. And well, we did that probably every other day. And it was unbearable sometimes because when you were in such a hurry that you couldn't get everything offloaded and the aircraft would just take off, even though we had not offloaded everything. But
Y'all were on military time, baby. Yeah.
well, it was definitely quite an experience.
Did that make you feel like whenever you joined the Navy, I know you didn't care for the offshore construction work. Did you feel like you had like a purpose though?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Uh, it was something with that if you kept your nose clean and you what in the Navy every 6 months we took a test for with different promotions, and and so there was definitely uh, choices that you had that you could advance.
What was your rank whenever you entered and whenever you left the Navy?
I was E1
What does that mean?
seaman recruit,
Okay.
and well, whenever I retired, 24 years later, I was chief petty officer, and which is E8,
Okay. Okay.
and but during those 24 years I was in, I was stationed at different places. Like I was in Guam, Philippines, Japan, Okinawa.
What was your favorite place to visit of all the places you went to?
I guess I guess well, Japan was the friendliest place I ever went to, and uh, well, you'd meet the people in the street, uh, and they talk to you,
Yeah.
and well, you had questions about where to go to take the best pictures and see different sites. They were willing to explain everything to you.
Whenever you were growing up, in Basel, did you ever travel at all? Had you ever seen any other part of the world?
Uh, I had never been out of the state of Louisiana.
Okay, okay. So going to San Diego for the first time must have been like a dream being on the
Yeah,
West Coast.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Surfing USA. Yeah, that's a Beastie Boy move.
And uh, uh, my whole time I was in the Navy was not only on the ships. I was stationed ashore quite frequently. I was stationed in Pensacola, Florida, and well, different at Corpus Christi,
Okay, okay.
and normally a shore tour lasted about 3 years.
A short one?
Yeah,
Wow, that's a long time.
and then you would get orders. It was mandatory that you went from shore to sea,
Okay.
and then well, whenever you're aboard a ship, well, you stayed about 24 months
On a ship?
on a ship, and then you would get orders uh, to a shore base, uh, and some of the bases like on the island of Guam, that was were considered preferred sea duty, where you were ashore and not aboard a ship. And I was also stationed in a preferred sea duty station on the in Iceland.
Really?
Yes, I was stationed in Iceland for 18 months.
I didn't know that. How was that?
That was that was quite an experience.
I can't wait to go to Iceland. Did you get in the Blue Lagoon at all?
No, uh, Iceland had numerous laws that uh, you couldn't go off base anytime you wanted to. There was just a certain percentage of the base population that could go ashore every night, and so consequently, we were limited to maybe uh, being able to go ashore about every third day,
Oh wow.
and but the Navy arranged some some flights for us to go to Scotland, and I went to Scotland once for about 2 weeks.
I had no idea you've been to so many countries.
Yeah, Scotland, and we went to England also,
That makes sense. Yeah. Got to go
and
where the colonizers are.
yes, and Scotland was fabulous.
Yeah, I love Scottish people.
You you'd walk down the streets uh, with well, fellow with Navy people, and when you pass in front of a bar, and the Scottish people say, "Hey, Yank, come in and have a brew," and the
Yank.
the people were real friendly. So
Yeah.
were the girls.
Yeah. Because eventually we met my momo, but before then, so how was that? What was life like? Did foreign women like really admire military men that were
Yes.
American men? Whenever I went to China, just being an American woman, people would ask to take pictures of me or with me simply because I was American. So I feel like abroad, Americans have a lot of like admiration for
They,
whatever reason. But
well, you got to think that they were trying to hook you. It was true because when you'd meet girls, and there were other words was going to states.
yeah, live the American dream.
Yes, and but it was a good experience,
Yeah.
and well, from there I went to Pensacola, Florida, and I went to Pensacola on two different occasions, and the people weren't always as friendly as they were overseas.
Which is such an interesting thing because I mean you're dying for this country.
Yeah, well, especially in Norfolk, Virginia, you would go off base, and they would have signs on the lawns: "Dogs and sailors keep off."
Same thing. That's funny. That's funny.
But uh, my 24 years in service was real real good, and I would do it again.
Wow. I love that. What was the thing that made you get out of the service and go towards the civil side of work and working on the base?
Well, I had been uh, I was in Corpus Christi. I had been in Corpus Christi for 3 years, and I had been in the Navy for 24 years, and I checked with my detailer in Washington D.C., and he says, uh, "Well, you going to board ship?" And I had enough ships, and I just decided uh, to retire at that point.
What was the worst aspect about living on a ship?
The space,
Yeah.
you had a locker that was about 24 by 24, and you had to fold your clothes so they would all fit in there, and they get wrinkled, and you didn't have any dry cleaning, and
Where are our tax dollars going?
so our well, before we pulled in the port, we'd put our navy trousers underneath our mattress, and that would get the wrinkles off.
What was the? I mean, talking about the ocean, it's crazy to think that initially at some point, because we're still here in Corpus Christi, you look out in the water and we're in the Gulf of Mexico. You don't see an end.
No.
So to think that at some point, humans decided, all right, let's get on a boat, let's go see what's out there. What was the craziest thing that you can say you've ever experienced on the water? Anything? Any?
Uh, staying going on a cruise that lasted 9 months and never being able to go ashore or go or touch land.
Wow, yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, and it, being aboard ship was bad as it was, but never being able to want to go ashore was something else.
Like you mean mentally? Like it was just
Yes,
yeah, that's a weird
yes,
thing.
yes.
That is weird because you're just out there. I mean, did you ever see anything crazy in the water?
Uh, well, you saw whales
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and
but no launch a sea monster, no
no,
UFOs.
no, no,
Darn
no,
it!
no.
I was really hoping for something good.
But it, it, this was quite an experience. And after I retired, uh, that was quite an experience. Also, you were basically tied down where you stayed in the same place for years, and well, you didn't get a new assignment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But uh, after I retired, uh, I worked for a contractor that supported the aircraft at different naval air stations, and then uh, I got a job with the civil service in support of the uh, the men and women uh, training for was to be pilots, and that was quite interesting.
I think I could be a pilot. That could be a hobby of mine. It just, my papa's always said I have a very crazy imagination, but
And while I was at the Chief of Naval Air Training, uh, about once a month, uh, well, we would go to different places like California, Maryland, Seattle,
whoop whoop.
and well, we'd go there for maybe a week, and and all that was all the different commands would send groups also, and we'd have training sessions. And once a year, we went to Maryland, and that's where we would get our funds.
Yeah.
And so, well, we'd tell the Navy how much money we needed,
Yep.
and and they would decide, and Congress would, a member of Congress would call our attachment and say, "Okay, you approve for so many $1 million," and of course, that $1 million was always cut up in small pieces.
Right. Right.
But it was interesting, and I, well, after being in the civil service for 13 years, I retired from the civil service and came to civilian life.
What was that like?
Wonderful. Well, you didn't have to get up at a certain time, and you didn't have to go to meetings, and you did whatever you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have like any stories about your time in the military at all that are like this was crazy or like life changing maybe? Any like real life altering moments in particular? I know you didn't like see actual combat, but
Well,
or
well,
maybe you did.
really, there was no certain moments. It's just that going from sea duty to shore duty,
Yeah.
it was such a big change. And well, you went to uh, well, a new assignment, and well, you had to, which was just a change in leadership.
Okay.
There's aboard ship, it was strict, ashore, it was lenient, and of course, if you didn't get along with people, you were stuck there.
Right. What do you think about that? That's so interesting that you say that because I think of the military. Was it? I'm presuming it was mostly men aboard the ship.
Yes,
Okay. Like,
yes.
were there females?
Uh, at that time, at that time, women were not allowed aboard ship.
Okay. Okay.
Now, women are allowed aboard ship.
So not even to cook or clean.
No.
Okay. Good. Good.
Well, the men did everything aboard ship.
Okay.
There was no women at all,
Wow.
and
It's a lot of testosterone.
yeah, and we even know the women were in the Navy,
Hmm.
and, and they weren't allowed to come aboard ship.
Yeah.
But nowadays, women are pilots, and
Period.
women are assigned ship,
Yeah.
well, to go with submarines,
Yeah.
and they go to warships.
And why not? I would be so interested to see. Speaking of women aboard ships, there's Mama peeking in. Um, what do you think the? Well, let's get your perspective on the military now. Do you think the military's doing as good a job as they've always have? Like whenever you were.
Oh, definitely, definitely. They,
Okay. Okay.
uh, well, I think nowadays they have more funds
Okay. Yeah.
to
For sure.
what to accomplish what their mission is.
Oh yeah. Congress goes to the Federal Reserve and it's unlimited.
Yeah,
That's our highest spending in the government. Is
yeah.
that and unemployment's next, but
and these ships nowadays are much more human being conscious. It's where you have more room, and you well, you are not assigned to a ship for 2 and 3 years at a time.
Yeah.
The sea duty is shorter than it was whenever I was with the service.
So here in Corpus Christi, we have stationed at in the Gulf, the U.S. Lexington. And I don't know if you mentioned the name of your ship. The
USS Bonhomme Richard, but the ships that we have here are uh, ships that have been retired,
Gotcha. Okay.
and they they don't have uh, anyone in sight to the ship.
Right. Right.
Uh, well, the ship belongs to the city.
Right. Right. As does our military, really.
Yeah.
You know, our military belongs to us, and so, I mean, we continually thank you for your service. It's
But like the USS Lexington here is not really a a Navy ship.
right. Okay.
To say it was a Navy ship because it had a long service in the Navy, but whenever they retired, normally ships are after so many years they are carted out to sea
Mm-hmm.
and destroyed.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, was your ship destroyed?
No.
Okay.
Uh, well, I was uh, at one time I was in the one decommissioning group, and we go aboard a ship that went to Seattle, and there we would sandblast the inside of the ship, so forth, and and repaint it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was put up for bids. Different cities would take the ships and so forth,
Yeah, that makes sense.
or they'd go to a barnyard in Philadelphia. But that wasn't any fun. All you did was go aboard ship and all, all regardless of what your rank was, you had to be sanding or painting. So
Put some elbow grease in it.
yes,
Yeah.
it wasn't a leisure time. But the USS Bonhomme Richard that I was stationed on, whenever they decommissioned it, uh, it went and got destroyed, and then uh, uh, another ship was renamed the USS Bonhomme Richard,
Okay. Okay.
which is on active duty now.
Okay. So she just got an upgrade.
Yeah,
Pretty much. Wow, that's cool.
yeah, yeah.
That's so interesting. I mean, and it makes sense. So, would we destroy the ships to not let foreign military see what was on our ships?
For space.
for space. Okay.
Is because they they graded ships if they had deteriorated to where it wouldn't be uh, salvage conscious,
Yeah.
and we had to because ships are what made of steel,
Right.
and steel deteriorates, and they, well, they would have a crew come on and say, "This ship has deteriorated so much that it wouldn't be uh, usable. Want to refurbish the ship, want to go back to sea." So they would take everything out on the usable, all the machinery and so forth, off the ship and so forth, and eventually they would take it out and sink it.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So we're littering.
yeah.
That's wow. I mean, did they blow it up, or they just
And,
like how do you just
uh,
cut a hole in it? Or
what they would uh, blast it, and where it would sink. Of course, that always happened in certain areas where ships never went.
right. So nobody was hurt or
Yeah,
harmed or
yeah.
anything like that. Of course. Wow. What is your I mean, talking about wars. So was Vietnam the only war you were in?
Basically,
War.
yes. And it, I think Vietnam was classified as a conflict,
Yeah.
not a war.
Right. Well, it's one of those things. It's like if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, just because Congress didn't declare it a war,
Yeah.
But lots of people died. I mean, as we move into war, I think. Do you think we're always going to have wars?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll just be over different things. I think.
And I had a brother that was in the Air Force. He was stationed in country at Vietnam,
Oh, okay.
and he was one of the unfortunate few that got what they call the Agent Orange,
Mm-hmm.
where the Navy would use the Agent Orange, which is I don't know what you would classify the Agent Orange. It's a chemical, and the Navy would the U.S. would spread that, and
Like, was it like a gas?
yes,
Okay.
and my brother was in an Air Force unit that somehow or another, well, whatever that Agent Orange was let loose. The wind blew it over where they were at,
Okay.
and the end result is it would causes cancer.
Yeah. Yeah. Which brother?
My brother that was younger than I was, uh, well, his name was Shirley.
Shirley. Okay.
Yeah, he
Wow, I didn't realize your younger brother was.
uh, he was well, he retired well from the Air Force, but the Air Force still treated him for Agent Orange. His hair fell completely off his head.
Like while he was still active?
Uh,
Or was this like a years later kind of thing?
Years later.
Wow.
And well, he contracted cancer, and then and well, he had to get the bone marrow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had bone marrow transplant,
Yeah.
and
Oh my
in
gosh.
in San Antonio, Texas,
Yeah.
and but they they considered him cured, cancer free, and then 6 months later, it all came back,
Wow.
and and that's what killed him.
Agent Orange. And that was just something we were, I mean, using on our enemies? Did they
Yeah,
know that they,
yeah,
I mean, they knew. They had to
yeah.
have
Yes,
known.
the people that were hit by that Agent Orange, uh, the the service that they were in uh, gave them additional funds,
Okay. Yeah.
well, retirement, but still it wouldn't help because they still died.
Right. Right.
Well, he was about 60 years old.
Oh my gosh.
Well, whenever he died,
How old, how much, what is y'all's age difference?
a year and a half.
So this was 23 years ago he
Yeah,
passed away?
uh,
23, 24. Wow.
yeah, yeah. He
That's so young.
well, he's buried in Pensacola, Florida.
How many of your brothers and sisters served in the military?
And I
You have
had
9 total.
yeah, but 5 boys and 4 girls,
Right.
and none of the girls were went to service.
Okay.
Uh, all 5 of the boys, uh, and my oldest brother was in the career in war.
Really?
Yes,
Which
and
also that ended with a not treaty, I don't think. Right? Or did they have a treaty? I don't even think they have a
yeah,
treaty.
yeah.
They just ceased fire, right?
No, when the U.S. Was considered the North Korea uh, signed a treaty.
Okay, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never know because North Korea, they don't follow any
No,
rules.
no.
They're still crazy. So,
But my oldest brother was in the career in the war, and my older sister, that's a year and a half older than I am, she married. Well, the man that she married was a POW during the Korean War.
and PW stands for
Prisoner of war.
he was a prisoner of war.
Yes, he was. He was a pilot.
Okay, cool.
His plane got shot down, and he was captured.
Wow.
And he was a prisoner for 2 years, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Which sister was this?
Stella.
Stella's husband?
Yeah.
Wow.
But he never talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, and I don't know, but just the perception that I have is that people are more willing to talk about things now, but back then you just didn't.
No. And my brother's daughter uh, wrote a paper on uh, Charles's being a POW,
Mm-hmm.
and she she sat down and interviewed him,
Yeah.
and uh, it was a real good.
I would love to read that. I mean, I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, I had a copy of it at one time, but I don't know where it's at now. But it, well, he never talked much about what they did to him, so forth. But well, he was a POW for about 2 years.
I mean, how do they, and what is it, the military kind of negotiating it back? Or negotiating you back? Or, I mean, you just hope they don't kill you?
It,
Both?
it,
Yes.
it was just that the military rescued them.
Okay, okay. So was it like what we would do? Like, I mean, waterboard people try to get information out of them? Like, you want to keep them alive to get our
Yeah,
secrets, right?
yeah.
Okay, okay. Wow. 2 years is a hell a long time.
But I'm sure it's quite an experience.
Right. Wow. Well, I mean, do you have any? Because I know there we can. I think we can both agree that there is always going to be war. I think our next war, personally, is not going to be over oil. I think it's going to be over water. I'm concerned for our country, but do you think there has to be war?
No,
What if every man right now, every man, I'm talking Putin, Kim Jong Un, all the men, had to give their power to a woman? I know that sounds funny and ridiculous because it would never happen, but if it did, I really feel like there would be resolution. If every woman was in power, I don't think there would be as much war. What do you think? Just hypothetically, I'm just curious.
no, I don't think it would make a difference because I think maybe women would be worse than what the men
Not worse.
are because the well, I feel as if women are more spiteful than men are.
Well, I have a perspective on that too. I think women are crazy and will do anything for love. I think men are crazy and will do anything out of pride. And I think that is what's worse. That's just my 2 cents as a woman. Because women naturally produce oxytocin, which is the chemical that makes us care about humanity. So maybe we wouldn't blow each other up, but I don't know. Maybe we would because you pissed us off. So, and that would be interesting though, because yeah, for sure, certain women have more testosterone, and that would be interesting. But it's just such a crazy thing to talk about because you actively served in the military, and I know I have a brother-in-law, Demetrius, who's my age, who's served in the military, and I would love to sit down and interview him too, just to see because he went aboard a ship as well.
Uh, yes, for a short period.
So, like, how long did he go? Do you know?
Oh, it probably wasn't more than 30 days at the most.
Oh, and then he got to go to
Yeah,
shore.
yeah.
Okay.
Because aboard every ship, there's a detachment of Marines.
Yes, my brother-in-law is a Marine, so
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
and he was with the Marines, but he he was just aboard ship going from one place to another.
Okay. So his duty wasn't on the ship.
No,
Okay. That's different. Yeah. Wow. How interesting.
Y'all okay?
All right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's see how long this thing's been going on. Almost an hour. I thought I said 20, 30 minutes. All right. Well, See what happens whenever you get caught talking? All right, I can edit this down a lot. Cool. Well, thank you, Papaw. We appreciate you. Thank you for your service.
I enjoyed this.
Thank you. Alrighty. Come back next time. Let's see who we interview my mama for wrestling.